It was 1999, and I was at my grandparents' house where they were watching the news. They were talking about NASA and several other government websites being defaced. It was the first time that I heard hacking in terms of computers. The next year I saw him, Bryce Case, aka Whitey Cracker. He was being interviewed about his crimes of breaking into NASA and defacing the site along with other charges. I'm sure this was the moment that a seed was planted that just needed a little bit of time to grow. That Christmas we got our first computer, a gateway machine with the best OS ever, Windows XP. I took to it really fast, first with games, then the internet, then chat rooms. It was in these chat rooms and the bulletin board systems that were still up that would be where I would get my feet wet into this new world of hacking. I wanted to take a moment to paint the picture of what my start in computers was like. This plays into why I think the way I do when it comes to things. It was the Wild West on the internet. Think of 4chan, but it was everywhere, and it was great. The group Cult of Dead Cows on everyone's lips. Politics was a hot button issue, but most of the time people would get over it. If not, it got ugly. You had to have a thicker skin to be online back then. People were quick to insult you and dismiss you if you made a claim and couldn't live up to it. Bragging rights was mostly based on how many websites you could deface in a month. And then there was the Hacker's Manifesto. It was a bit before I read it for the first time, but by the time I'd already started to learn programming, VisualBasic.net, or VB.net. I had helped with spreading pirated media some, and was pretty skilled in installing a Linux OS on the family machine at 10 p.m. and having Windows back up and running at 6 a.m. But reading that manifesto was the first time I felt understood by someone else online, and connected. It did change me, and I still believe in the manifesto to this day. The line has always stood out to me the most over time is the following. You build atomic bombs, you wage wars, you murder, cheat, and lie to us, and try to make us believe it's for our own good. Yet we're the criminals. Yes, I am a criminal. My crime is that of curiosity. My crime is that of judging people by what they say and think, not what they look like. My crime is that of outsmarting you, something that you'll never forgive me for. I'll leave a link to the full document on Wikisource in case you've never read it. Give it a read. So after all of this background, what is my philosophy and why do I think having one is important? To address the second item is because it's a guideline on how I behave and interact with people online. I do act differently with people online than I do in person. Not that I'm not friendly and trying to be helpful, but I do it with an ever-present mind of caution. That got instilled in me back when everyone was anonymous online. Just a sense of being careful online. You never fully know what the other person is doing or capable of. So here are some of my points in my philosophy that I live by when I'm online. First, everyone has a story, a reason why they're here. Whether that is social media page or forum on tour, don't be quick to dismiss someone. You never know what you might learn or get to share. Number 2, understand that everyone has their own politics. No matter what country you come from, political alignment you have, or lack thereof, everyone has a political opinion. And as time has gone on, I've come to understand that for most people this has been shaped by some degree of misinformation and propaganda that they have been exposed to. But I always listen to someone first and try to understand why they think and believe the way they do. Third, stay off religion. It's a minefield. Unless you know the person you are talking to and trust that you can have a civil discussion. I actually enjoy these because I'm always up for learning about life and points of views that are different from my own. But I also know to read the room and how to navigate the topic. I've had my fair share of failures. Number 4, be respectful, even if the other person is verbally, through text, attacking me, slandering me, or whatever. Just take a deep breath. You can always walk away. It's the internet. Yeah, I know once it's out on the internet, it's out there forever, and people can slander you across countless social media sites, but at the end of the day, you also have to put work into your own image. So hold your head up high, walk away, and don't be part of the fight. 5th, be open to share and help. I love learning. and I enjoy helping others out as well, whether it is simple as sharing a link to a site that I've come across before, or putting something together real quick to show an example. So those are kind of the 5 guidelines that I use when I'm online. I'm interacting with people, and I do my best to adhere to them. I honestly miss the days when you could project yourself online however you wanted to. To a degree, you still can, yes, but it's easier to connect the dots from the online person to the offline person now. This is partly the reason I still enjoy getting into IRCs and forums on tour. I can just log in with a name I made up, chat, hang out for a bit, log off, and let that persona fade away. One opinion I hold that I know will not go over well is that it was a mistake to open the internet up to the average person. I understand that I would not be here talking to you if that were the case, most likely. I also understand what all we would be missing out on. But stop and think for a moment. For every good thing you can think of, how many bad things can you count? How many lives ruined? How many lives ended? The internet is truly a mixed bag of good and bad. And that brings me why I wanted to make this video. Call to everyone that hears it, to take a step back and look at yourself, your behavior online. When was the last time you helped someone out? When was the last time you tried to encourage someone to try something new? When was the last time you told someone thank you? When was the last time you insulted someone? When was the last time you thought someone was a complete idiot and you wish they would go away permanently? When was the last time you saw a discussion online that hadn't exploded into chaos? I would like to ask and encourage everyone that when you sit down at your computer or unlock your phone and you pull up social media, any website or IRC, to ask yourself, what type of person am I going to be today? Are you going to try to be calm, nice, and helpful? To look at the chaos and choose to add fuel to the fire, or just to move on? Now don't get me wrong, I enjoy a bit of chaos and fun. I love meme culture. And yeah, I find messing with people a bit fun, but I also know where the line is. When I do mess with someone, it tends to be because I know them enough to understand what I can do that we can both laugh at later. There's enough hate and negativity online for everyone to have their fill for a lifetime. That's why a part of me is really happy to see what a small part of the hacking community has grown into. A welcoming area where new and experienced people can come together to talk and share. These are the communities I think people need to do better to highlight online. Like I said in my last video, this hacking/cybersecurity world has become massive. And to someone who is getting into it for the first time, it can seem like a lot, overwhelming to the point where it can run them off. This is where those of us with more experience should step up and be willing to help. Not too long ago at work, we had a lady come in for management training for the team that I support. She was fresh out of college, very energetic and very smart. She found out about my bachelor's degree I'm working on my hobbies. She says she would really like to get her feet into the cybersecurity world. Told her it was a big field with a lot of moving parts, but a good place to start that I think is easier for newcomers was try HackMe. Wrote the website down, gave her my screen name and Discord info. Next week she told me that she really underestimated how much was really involved in this field and it overwhelmed her. I told her if you feel like you need to take a step back and take some time to think about it, feel free to. The field can seem really interesting from the outside, but it isn't for everyone. I've gone long enough on this video. So I've left some links to YouTubers down in the description that I enjoy, and that I find helpful, useful, entertaining. I've broken them down into some groups. I didn't put a bunch down there. I didn't want to overwhelm everybody, but check them out. You may see some names down there you haven't met before, and you may see some that you know. But thank you again for watching and listening to me. We'll be hitting up some boxes for the next couple of videos, so I hope you're looking forward to those. Be kind, and I'll see you next time.